Hello everyone, I'm Sean.
This is who?
And we are the Courageour Frights, back once again for another movie review.
Yes!
And so this time we're seeing 2025's Wolfman.
Wolfman, not the Wolfman.
Not to be confused with The Wolfman.
Or The Wolfmans.
Yeah, that's not a thing.
Or Wolf Guy.
Wolf Guy is a thing.
Yes.
That's a 1970s Japanese film. This is Leigh Whannell's latest Blumhouse masterpiece.
Yes.
Following up on Invisible Man, and I think he did one of the Insidious films or something. He's also in the Insidious films.
Yes, he's in here for, like, a voiceover.
He's a voice. He's a disembodied voice.
Yeah, he's a disembodied voice.
Named Dan. So, this movie takes a completely different approach from all the other Wolfman movies, the other two Wolfman movies. The other two basically tell the exact same story, and this one deviates to a completely new story. Unfortunately, it's essentially The Beast Within that just came out less than a year ago, and just slightly better in my opinion, but it's still nothing spectacular.
Kind of at least to me, it kind of felt like a very generic movie. I don't know, it just felt generic to me. I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of a run-of-the-mill definition of mid.
Yeah.
Type of film. The focus point of the film is on the main character, Blake.
Yes.
And his wife and daughter.
Yeah.
And they go to a cabin in the woods in Oregon because his dad has been declared dead. I guess he was missing for a long time. Mm-hmm. So they get the keys to the house and everything, and he's having marital troubles, and so he decides to take the whole family out on a vacation to the woods. Apparently he wants his wife to take like 3 months off.
Yeah. It's like, stop your journalism work.
Just quit your job.
It's written by AI anyway.
Right, exactly. You know you're not writing those articles for real, so you can take a month off. Yeah. And so they go to Oregon, which fans of Grimm will know that's probably a terrible idea.
Yes.
And when you know it, there are Blutbaden running around in the woods in Oregon. So, and also the creature design in this actually looks quite a bit like the Blutbad in Grimm.
Yeah, they have. It's very similar.
It's almost exactly that, except for I guess that design seemed to be based on Werewolf of London, the 1935 film, not to be confused with American Werewolf in London. But that's, I guess, the first ever werewolf movie, or at least first werewolf movie that's surviving. Mm-hmm. And that even predates The Wolfman. So some of the design on the werewolf is... It has a precedent in film, we'll just say that.
Yeah.
So it's like people complaining about the design in this movie. Yeah, it's not the greatest werewolf design, but it's also possibly paying homage to the original wolf design.
Yeah, because he has like his face kind of looks like the Lon Chaney Jr. one, kind of.
Yeah, which I think that was the intent.
Yeah, it's very similar to it.
But he's not hairy.
Yeah, he's like not a hairy wolf.
Yeah, which is like the original 1935 film.
Yeah, because like the wolf transition in this is very. It almost like it's like in between the full-fledged transition, or maybe it is the full transition. I don't really know.
I think this is it because the dad was infected longer and he looked the same.
Yeah, he actually looked less hairy.
Yeah, he looked like he was reverting back to being a human.
Yeah.
So they go out to the family house and then they're attacked by a werewolf.
Yeah,
basically.
That's pretty much the
story. He gets scratched, which that's not a spoiler. It's in the trailer.
Scratched or shard of glass, maybe.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. He gets scratched, and then he turns into a werewolf. In the whole movie, he's slowly turning to a werewolf within the house.
Yeah.
While there's also a werewolf outside the house, which this is a spoiler, but we already said it. That's the dad.
Yeah.
The grandfather.
I kind of figured that's what it was going to be anyways. Like,
right.
Long before, like, right when they got to, like, Oregon, I was like, that's probably the dad.
Yeah, pretty much. And that's basically the story without giving away too many spoilers beyond the framework of it. The focus point is on the family unit. There is a somewhat poorly conceived allegory for... like strict parenthood or something.
Or like abuse or something, even though it wasn't
Yeah, telling your kids not to eat dangerous mushrooms in the forest is surely abuse. So the focus is less on the physical transformation and more on like the internal changes.
Yeah, that was actually pretty good. I do like that part.
Which I enjoyed that as well. I thought it was cool that we got to see his vision, how it changed from like to night vision. The way he perceives other people is almost like these weird monsters.
Yes.
They got glowing eyes and distorted faces.
And apparently their skin is kind of like a weird look to it. It doesn't look like normal natural skin.
Right, which is interesting because they don't actually say this, but I wonder if the werewolf in a way is like lashing out at the humans because it thinks they're monsters that are trying to hurt it.
That's probably it, actually.
Because he also loses some of his like cognitive abilities too, because he can't understand human speech anymore. He can barely write. He can that kind of thing.
There's like a little background information. I guess part of the transformation and stuff. At least Leigh Whannell said that apparently one of his close friends had ALS or some sort of neurodegenerative disease, and it was kind of like he kind of took that and made it into like that transformation, which kind of makes sense if you watch the movie.
Right.
It's like, okay, that definitely looks like, because he can't understand it. It's kind of like he can't really function, but he's kind of like transforming into like some sort of like monster. Like, it's a little bit different, but...
Yeah, but that's where the influence is coming from. So that's kind of the focal point on the film as opposed to the physical transformation, which is standard werewolf fare. The transformation actually occurs over the course of almost the entire film, so it gives it almost like a 1986 The Fly quality.
Yeah. It's pretty much the beginning. It's like probably the first 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes, you get like the transformation starts then, and it's like...
Yeah, and then it's the rest of the movie pretty much.
You knew it was bad because there's a scene where his hair starts falling out and he's getting alopecia, and he wrote dying. His hair fell out.
It's a feeling we've all gone through.
I'm going bald. No, I'm just going to
dying. Just kill me now.
Yeah.
So that is pretty much everything to say about the Wolfman. Wolfman. Now to go into a little bit of the nitpicks. So right off the bat, well, I guess I'll just say that I thought the film was mid.
Yeah.
I'd say like it's 5 out of 10 or something. It's not the worst thing, but it's not good.
Out of comparing to the other Wolfman movies, like The Beast Within was the most recent one. That was like last year.
Yeah, well, werewolves.
Yeah, werewolf movie. This one was I thought it was much better than that one, to be honest. But
yeah, I like this better than that film. It was also better than the movie Werewolf.
Yeah.
But that had better creature designs.
Mm-hmm.
So this one, it starts off with the really bizarre scene where there's just ants attacking a wasp. And I don't know what the hell the point of that is.
Yeah, that was weird.
Like, I don't know what the point of that was. And then we get a title card saying that, basically implying that this is something that's happened in these woods for centuries.
Yeah.
And it's pretty much a disease that exists in the woods. And it's called the face of the wolf, which in the text says Maingan Odengwan. And so I looked up what that means. And it does mean wolf face. However, they said it was from the indigenous people of Oregon. This is an Ojibwe word.
Yeah.
The Ojibwe people come from the Great Lakes region in central Canada. For those of you who aren't outside the United States, I want to say about 1,600 kilometers away from Oregon.
Yes, it's like on the other side of the state.
Like nowhere near Oregon. So, like, the people they should have used was North Paiute or something like that. There's, like, a whole number. There's 9 different nations that exist in Oregon.
Yeah.
None of which are Ojibwe. Like, they're not even close to them. So I just wanted to point that out immediately. There was a real strange reason to use an indigenous language that you did the research to find out what that meant.
Yeah.
Although I don't think that I would venture a guess to say that's not grammatically accurate.
Probably not.
It's literally dictionary forms of the words, so I think they just looked up wolf and face and then put it down, but why they used an indigenous language from 1,000 miles away, who knows?
Yeah.
I just thought that was bizarre. There's slight callbacks to the Wolfman, but more so to the 2010 Wolfman because this is spoilers. We go into detail. We always go into spoilers.
Yeah.
There's a portion in the film where Blake fights his father in the house. And that's actually how he kills the original werewolf, is he, like, tears his throat out. That is literally what happens in Wolfman 2010. It's, like, the most gratuitous part of the film where it just turns into a werewolf versus werewolf, like, CGI battle.
Yeah.
And they basically did that here. Which I was actually shocked that happened in this film, because this is a really subdued, like, kind of boring movie.
Yeah, it is kind of slow.
If I'm gonna be honest. And then it has a werewolf fight in it. Which that's pulled right out of the 2010 film. And like I said, that's probably the most gratuitous thing that happens in that movie.
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of crazy they took that. Although I guess Invisible Man had an invisible person fight.
Yeah, there was an invisible person fighting.
So I guess it's a Leigh Whannell thing. He has to have a guy fight the other guy. He has to end it on a Marvel movie note. People with the same powers fight each other. And there was a lot of other issues with this film. Like little minor nitpicks, I guess. There's a scene where he first starts changing. And the first thing that happens is he gets super hearing. Yeah. So he hears all this thudding going on in the house. He eventually goes upstairs, and it's something's in the closet, like banging around. He opens the closet door. The biggest fucking spider that I've ever seen.
Yeah, that was not an Oregon spider.
It was it was like a dinner plate.
Yeah, it was huge.
I mean, it's pretty sure it was like a huntsman or something. But Leigh Whannell is from Australia, so
yeah, like I guess his perspective of spiders is a little bit skewed.
Yeah, he was just like, oh, it's a house spider. And every American's like, what the hell is that?
Yeah, that's not no house spider. I'm pretty sure that wasn't just super hearing. I think everyone heard that.
Everybody was able to hear that spider.
Yeah, it was like, what the heck is that thing?
I mean, it must have been huge, because you gotta think, this was a cabin in the woods in Oregon. There's probably hundreds of insects and stuff in that house. Because, I mean, I keep my house pretty clean.
Yeah.
There's still, like, occasionally you'll find, like, a centipede in the bathroom or, like, a fly in the attic or something like that. There's always bugs in your house, no matter how much you clean. And a house in the woods like that is probably always going to get some kind of thing in the house.
Yeah, all wooded areas, I'm sure.
Yeah, you're going to have spiders in there. You're going to have, like, ladybugs or stink bugs or something's going to be in that house. So, the fact he heard this one spider over everything else that's probably also in that house kind of implies this is a huge-ass spider.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like the spider from Sting.
Yeah, pretty much.
She opened the door and just starts whistling at him.
Yeah, it's like...
So, that was kind of my nitpicks. There's probably more, but what do you have on
this? The one major nitpick I had was the first infection. Like we talked about a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
So, like, when they're going to Oregon the first time, they meet up with Derek, which is like the childhood friend, I guess.
I love Derek. Derek's my favorite character.
Friend, I guess.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, let me ride with you to the house, because this is my house. I'll show you where the other house is. But don't come out at night. I'm just going to stay with you all night.
Good old creepy Derek.
Yeah, creepy Derek. So they're driving down the woods or whatever, like the darkened road. Then the Wolfman's like in the middle of the road, so he like looks away for a little bit, and then he's like, oh, there's a guy, and then he just like drives off the road into like the trees.
Yeah.
Into like the redwoods or whatever we were at, like the pine trees out there. So the vehicle's stuck on the side. Which I think you saw in the trailer. I think this was in the trailer actually. Mm-hmm. Derek being the dumbass, like being the flat earther, I guess he doesn't know about gravity.
They don't teach gravity in Oregon schools, okay?
He opens up the door and falls right into the ground.
He opens the door. They're stuck in a tree.
Yeah.
Like 50 feet in the air. He opens the door that's on the bottom of the truck. Yeah. And just falls to his death.
Yeah. It was pretty comical. It was pretty funny.
And then he gets dragged away by the werewolf.
Yeah, he's like, oh, Derek's dead. It's like, don't open the door. And then he just does it.
Derek killed himself. But I love Derek. He's just like, oh, first off, he's this creepy guy.
Yeah, he's kind of a weird man.
Weird, unsettling dude. Looks a bit like Asmongold.
Yeah.
And he's just like, oh yeah, I'll hop in your truck and take you to the house. Doesn't just give him directions or something. He's coming along with.
Yeah, he's coming along with the stay
even
with the
though
house.
he just got done telling them that nobody goes out in the woods at night. And then he goes in their truck, and they drive for like a mile to get to the house.
Yeah.
So, assuming nothing was going to happen, I mean, what happens is they see the werewolf standing in the road, they veer off, they end up stuck in a tree like Jurassic Park. But, say none of that happened, how the fuck was Derek getting home?
Yeah, he just got to stay with them, I guess. Stay with them for a couple months.
He's just a super creepy dude.
Yeah.
He just expects them to let them stay the night.
For a couple months, just like, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, you're staying here for 3 months?
Because he said nobody goes out at night. And it was like, okay, but how are you getting home, buddy?
Like, there's no phones or electricity out here. So
yeah, apparently he doesn't have a
stay
phone.
out
Well, I guess the phone company would have disconnected him by now. Because
probably.
he hasn't been paying his phone bill in probably months.
But the one thing that kind of weird with the infection, because when he does is like, there's a hand that comes and breaks. It looks like it breaks the glass.
Oh, yeah.
But I thought apparently it must have like nicked his arm or something. Because
somehow, because he's like on the other side of the... He's in the driver's seat.
Of a U-Haul. Like a U-Haul truck.
Yeah, and the glass shatters. It looks like a shard of glass goes in his arm.
Yeah.
But apparently he also got scratched somehow.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay. And then almost 2 minutes after the infection starts, he gets grabbed through the pet door at the house and gets scratched again. Why wasn't that where the infection happened?
It's like, it didn't make any sense whatsoever.
Like, they could have easily just had that point be where the infection started.
Not the glass shattering, because it didn't make any sense whatsoever.
Right.
And like, it went right through his jacket, too. It was kind of weird, because he has a jacket on. Mm-hmm. It like goes through his jacket and hits his arm only. It's like really strange.
Yeah.
But I don't know if this is kind of like, they just kind of looked at, or I don't know if that was supposed to be part of that or not, but
I'm not sure.
It didn't seem like it, but I don't know.
Yeah, that was weird. Is there anything else?
That was kind of the major nitpick that I had.
Yeah.
Because it was like there was one pro, I guess. The creature design, actually, with the makeup effects and stuff, they looked a lot... I don't know if you... Like, we probably talked about on our podcast about...
Yeah, that Halloween Fright Nights thing or whatever.
Halloween Fright Nights thing, and like it looks like some sort of gremlin man.
Yeah.
The creature effects in this movie actually are a lot better.
They're much better, and I think Leigh Whannell actually got pissed off about that, because I think he even tried to contact Jason Blum to have that canceled.
Yeah.
Because he was like... It's like showing off Freddy Krueger for the first time, but the reveal was a Spirit Halloween mask.
Yeah.
And that's basically what that was. So it's pretty much they were showing off this year's Spirit Halloween werewolf mask.
They're on Spirit Halloween, like, fashion show.
Yeah, pretty much. This is this year's werewolf design.
Yeah.
So that definitely hurt the film.
Yeah, I think a lot of people made fun of that, like, really badly, which it kind of gave it a bad rap because it didn't look like that. It
looks better than that. It doesn't look like a great werewolf design. I think people these days are expecting dog soldiers or something. Yeah. Like every time a werewolf movie comes out. And this one is going, like I said, it harkens back to the 1935 original werewolf film. And it also has similarities with Grimm, which that may be not coincidental because they also decided to set it in Oregon for some reason.
Yeah, I'm sure that's like a little bit of a homage to
So
that.
I wonder if Leigh Whannell is a Grimmster.
Probably.
But, yeah, I mean, other than that, like I said, the movie's kind of mid-tier.
Yeah.
It's nothing great, but it's not terrible. The only other issue is that the human... like drama is sort of half-baked.
Yeah.
There's a huge problem. The dialogue all seems a little off for some reason. And the moral story is real stupid.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, it's supposed to be an allegory for like strict, almost for like...
abuse?
Yeah, like parental abuse or something. But literally the abuse is a father yelling at his kid because he's running around the woods with a gun.
Yeah, and he's like... Don't run away from me because it's dangerous here. You
Yeah.
can die in an instant.
And apparently that's bad. And also yelling at him for not paying attention when he was explaining that if you eat mushrooms, you're going to die.
Yeah, he's like, the death cap mushroom will kill you. Do not eat it.
And then his son carries on the curse.
Yeah.
Because it's almost like he was abused by his dad. So that
Yeah.
now he's an abusive husband and father because he yells at his daughter one time for doing a balancing act in the street.
In the middle of New York, one that's like, it's like a barrier. Like, it was like a barrier. It was like on the middle of the road.
She climbs out up on top of a barrier in like a 4-lane highway and is just about to fall into the traffic.
And then she jumps onto a hobo.
Yeah, she does.
And the hobo is like just screaming at this kid, and he's like, "Yeah, this is New York. You don't be jumping around on people."
Yeah. And then he complains to his wife because she's taking a call at the dinner table from work.
Yeah, he's like, "Put that call away."
Put it away. And like that part was kind of stupid. Like I could see that being a problem because she's literally talking to somebody from work.
Yeah.
And she's about to wrap up the conversation anyway. Like she's only, and everybody has a tolerance level of 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Because she comes in the door, she sets her stuff down, sits down at the dinner table, and she's still talking to the guy from work, but she's obviously wrapping up the conversation. Yeah. And he's like, "Could you not do that in here?"
Yeah.
And then he says it again. And she only was talking for a minute.
Yeah, I know. It's like,
so I could see why she got...
Shut it off.
Yeah, I could see why she got annoyed by that, because she was literally finishing the conversation. Yeah. But then another scene that I thought was hilarious is when they're running away from the werewolf in the truck.
Yeah.
The little girl runs for 15 feet, and then she's like, "I need to stop, Daddy. Can you carry me?"
I can't breathe. Or
it's like what?
I can't run because my legs are hurting or something.
It's like they were trying to steal the beast within so much that they gave the kid the asthma problem, but she doesn't have asthma.
She just looked on TikTok too much or something. I don't know.
Yeah, there's no reason why she has no stamina.
Yeah, it was really bad. It was 2 feet into the woods and you're already
she's
dying.
Worse than OG James Sunderland from Silent Hill 2.
Actually, there was another thing that happened in that movie. It happens kind of that same scene where obviously the truck is way up in the air.
Yeah.
But for some weird reason, when they jump off the back of that truck, it's literally 2 feet. It's not even that far.
Yeah.
He jumps down. It's just obviously it's not a very far drop. If you can see where he jumps down, he's like, "I'll catch you."
Yeah.
But it's probably 2 feet. It's anyone that could jump off the back of that truck would be fine.
Yeah, except for Daryl.
Yeah, Daryl. He falls into the abyss, I guess. He falls off the edge of the map.
Daryl doesn't understand gravity, so he just falls 50 feet down.
Yeah, I was like, what? It didn't make any sense at all.
Yeah.
And actually, there was another plot point that it felt like they didn't resolve. Because the mother figures, I don't think I'm being a good mother at one point.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's, trying to, kind of patch up his... Because he got the letter saying his dad's deceased. Officially deceased.
Yeah.
And it's you're more better with the kids than I am because you're a stay-at-home dad type of thing, even though you're a writer.
Yeah.
You're a stay-at-home dad, but I don't think I'm, a good mother. But that doesn't actually go anywhere. It literally doesn't go anywhere.
I think it does because she protects the daughter
from
him. So it's she becomes a good mother.
I guess that is true.
She becomes a good mother by killing the dad.
Yeah, by killing the dad.
Taking his powers.
His abusive dad. By killing the abusive dad that's buying ice cream for kids.
Yeah, that's abuse. Yeah. She bought her the wrong... He brought her the wrong flavor of ice cream.
Yeah, it was great. He's I'm not going to be a monster.
But now she's a good mother because she took her dad's parenting skills.
Yes.
When she killed him.
She shot him in the head or whatever.
Yeah, and his parenting skills transferred to her. It's kind of like Highlander.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
It's the quickening.
It's great.
So, yeah, that is Wolfman, I guess. Unless there's anything else you want to add about this. I think that's about it, though.
Yeah, like I said, it's kind of a mid-tier. It's if you think about what would happen in this movie, just from what we talked about, you probably know what the movie's going to be about.
Yeah, I think most of it was in the trailer.
Yeah, it's a lot of it's in the trailer. It's kind of okay, you kind of can figure out what's going on.
This is typical Blumhouse January fare.
Yeah. Not a Megan. It's not a Megan.
No, it's not Megan. This is where...
Evil swimming pool, night swim, or whatever.
I don't know if that was any good or not.
Yeah, a lot of people said it was.
I'm curious about night swim. Yeah. It's probably not good, but...
No.
Anyway, this is why this is the month that movies go to die.
Actually, speaking of Blumhouse, I'm surprised they were able to use Michael Myers' likeness in the beginning.
They still have that in their logo. Which
it's really strange.
I'm surprised by that because I don't think they own. Yeah, Evil Dies Tonight. I don't think they own the rights to Michael Myers anymore.
No.
So anyway, I think that's going to be it for Wolfman. So if you see the movie, let us know in the comments below what you think of it. And if you like these type of videos, give us a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more like this in the future. And you too could feel the strength welling within. See ya.
See ya.